Hello and welcome to Bethan's Kitchen and Garden. Today I'm in my neighbour's greenhouse as I need to sort out the tomatoes because they're turning into a bit of a jungle in here. So I need to side shoot them and string them up, tie them in and all those sort of things. So I'll show you what state the tomatoes are in now and I'll talk you through what I'm going to do. So here are my tomatoes. They're the ones at the back and in the front are the aubergines, which are looking a bit pitiful, but yes, at the back are my tomatoes. And what I need to do with them today is first of all to tie them in. Now I'm going to try, I've put a stake here at the moment, but I'm actually going to try to run a line in, like some twine in. So I've got this line running across here, all the way across, and I'm going to drop some twine in there, and then what should happen is you just sort of twist the tomato around that twine. So I'm going to give that method a go this year, and I'll also then run some twine sort of diagonally up, and I'll put in some bamboo canes just across the top here so that I can attach the twine, and then hopefully the tomatoes will grow up and across, which will just give them a bit more space for the trusses. With my tomatoes, some of them have got some massive side shoots on them. So if you can sort of see the L shape that's going along there, so you are the main stem there, and then that's a branch, and this is I can't remember what you call it, a side shoot. That if that is left to grow on, that will produce tomatoes, but everything on the plant will be smaller then because the plant is trying to produce a bit too much. So I'm going to take that off, and what I've got outside is a couple of pots. I did this one first thing this morning, and it's gone a bit limp now, but I'm hoping that if I leave a couple of the side shoots in the jars in some water, they'll begin to root at the bottom and I can make more tomato plants off them. While I was in here, I just thought I'd give you a quick sort of look at how the other plants are coming on. So the cucumbers are, well, getting cucumbers on them now, which is great. The physalis in the front, or Cape gooseberries, they are growing like mad now. I've left the side shoots alone. I did ask in a previous video, and Benny L, who grows this in her country, told me to leave the side shoots on, so that's what I've done, and they are growing very well. And my melon at the back is starting to climb up now, the sort of netting I've put in, and I have found a couple of little fruitlets growing. There's another one somewhere. Oh yeah, there's one there. And there's another one, but I won't be able to find that one now. Oh, there's one down there as well. So there's lots of little melons coming, which is great. And my gherkins in the corner, they are beginning to grow something as well. But I better stop dilly-dallying around and get on with doing these side shoots because it's getting a bit warm in this greenhouse. I was hoping to get in here about 8 o'clock this morning, but of course that hasn't happened, and it's just gone 10:30 now. So I'm going to crack on with this job, and I'll show you how I've progressed when I come back. I've tidied it all up now, so I'll talk you through what I did in a minute. I'm just showing you how it's looking and I'm quite pleased with how these twine ropes are working out. They seem to be quite gentle on the plant, but of course the plant isn't going to move very much because it's in the greenhouse, so it's not going to have any wind disturbing it. So what I've done on all of these is I've taken all the bottom leaves off up to about 2 or 3 below the first truss. Now there's a couple of reasons I've taken the bottom ones off. It's because when I water, I don't want the water to spatter onto the leaves, because that is thought to create blight. And also because I plant all my tomatoes very close together, I want to ensure there's a lot of good air circulation around the stems. So I take off the bottom foliage, and I also, let's find one, here we are, and I also cut some of the leaves back as well. Now cutting the leaves back is a very personal choice, as is, you know, taking the bottom leaves off, because there is an element of risking infection getting into the plant when you mess around with it a lot, you know, when you trim it and whatnot. But for me, I would rather have the air circulation and risk the infection than have a forest of leaves and then the plant gets blight because there's not enough air circulation. So that's my approach to looking after my tomatoes, and it has worked for the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm going to give it another go this year and see how we get on. But let's go and have a look at something else I've got to do today. I forgot to show you the strings that are running down, and I also forgot to show you that I've now staked the aubergine, which when I was staking it, realised that some of them are actually putting out flowers. There's a couple with some good flowers on them. If I come around to this one on the end, this one's quite far along, so hopefully that will get pollinated and we'll have a little aubergine. And I've also given everything a thorough water, so I watered into the pots twice and then I liquid fed the tops, so hopefully they'll recover from their bashing I've just done. And outside the greenhouse, which I'm going to take and put on my windowsill in the house, we have a few cuttings of the different kinds of plants that I've got on the go. So this one is the Gardener's Delight. No, sorry, this is a Yellow Delight. This one is a San Manzano. And this one is Gardener's Delight, because I planted the Gardener's Delight later, so the side shoots are not as profound as the other ones. But maybe something will come from them. I'll keep you updated anyway. Well, I've moved away from Mary's greenhouse into my own greenhouse because I have put in a raised bed around the staging, and I'm going to plant my peppers and some extra tomatoes that I've got in here. So I shall show you what I'm doing and how far I've got now. This is the bed I've just put in, and when I say just put in, I mean I've just put it in. I built this around on Saturday and did a few modifications so that this end would actually fit. Well, actually my husband did the modifications because I wasn't very well, so he cut the holes at the bottom so this staging would fit through. And then I went and got some manure this morning and filled the bottom layer with manure, and then filled the top with the inside of grow bags, because back when we went into lockdown, and I couldn't get hold of any compost. I could get hold of some grow bags, which essentially is compost, isn't it? So I had them, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get as far as putting this bed in. So I thought, well, I'll have the grow bags just in case, but I have got around to putting them in. So let me show you the plants and me planting it up. So all these pepper plants are absolutely desperate to go into the ground. They're well watered, but they are quite like limeish green on the point of turning yellow. I have given them some nutrient feed, but they just need to go in their final positions now. So that's those. These are, what are they? They're those long red peppers, Romano peppers, I think they're called. And down here I've got some more tomato plants, which Mary's son gave me. I'm not sure what the variety of these ones are, but he had some extra ones, so I said thank you very much, and I'm going to get around to planting them now. With these ones, I'll probably use a cane to support them, and some of these can also be supported with the legs of the staging. And then what I'll do over winter is, if I don't grow lettuce in this bed, I can just pop the slats back on, because it's slatted, so that you can just take the staging on and off as and when you want it. So it's really handy, because I'll be able to use a lot of the supports to tie the fruits to, the fruit plants. So I'm just going to plant up the tomato plants first. So I'll just show you one being planted. So I'm just going to dig a very deep hole, because they're tomato plants. They can be planted deeper than the stems. So I'm going right down to the layer of manure there, popping that in, and then covering it over. This compost from the grow bags is really, really moist. So the last drop of rain we had was on Thursday, and it's now Monday. So it just shows how good the moisture retention in these grow bags are. So I'll get on with planting the rest of these tomatoes and the peppers. The peppers I will only plant down to the level they are at the moment. So I'll just plant to the natural soil level. And I'll show you this when I'm done. And here it is, all planted up. They've been watered in, and I'm just going to leave them a couple of days to settle before I stake them. And I noticed with this one, it's got a pepper on it, so I'll take that pepper off to encourage it to grow some more. And similarly with the tomatoes, I'll stake them in a couple of days. And the reason I'm not doing it now is because it's too warm in here. It's absolutely roasting now. It hasn't been too bad all day. It's been quite nice, but it is warming up. We are having a heat wave over here this week, in this part of the country in East Anglia. It is meant to get to 29-30 at the end of the week. So I'm trying to get loads of jobs done at the moment, because a lot of the time is probably going to be spent in the shade, because it'd be too warm to do anything. Anyway, that's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching what I've been up to with my peppers and tomatoes. I'm really pleased to have got those done. Having tidy tomatoes always makes me really happy, and it's a job I really enjoy doing. There's something very therapeutic about side shooting tomatoes. So that was a really nice job to do today. And I'm really pleased to have got this greenhouse sorted out, because I wasn't quite sure whether I was going to get around to doing it. And I'm really happy to have got those pepper plants in, because they really did need to be transferred into some better soil, because they've been growing in those pots for quite some time. So that's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing and commenting if you have done so. Thank you for watching if you haven't. And hopefully I'll catch you next time. All I can say about today is lovely job.